Hello everyone, this is Michael Schnall, and today we're bringing you a Wrath of Kings battle report. Today it's Hadross versus Goritsi in a battle level game. Landon's list includes 9 Skorza skirmishers, 2 blood engines, 2 shield breakers, all led by a Skorza Alpha and Korad Ungarash as the army commander. My army includes 12 Deepman Guardians, 3 Severdin Gutters, 1 Kalith Reaver, 1 Deep Caller, 1 Orson Cavalier, and Ilva, the Siren of Sizor Strait. My leaders are a single Gutter Friar and Torvash the Bannerman as my army commander. I've chosen the Vengeance motivation, Burn It Down. Landon has actually also chosen a Vengeance motivation, an Unstoppable Advance. We roll initiative for round 1. I roll a 5, Landon rolls a 10. Landon has a +2 due to the morale difference, so he easily wins. During the first turn, Landon has an obvious speed advantage. He's playing a Skorza heavy Goritsi list, one of the fastest armies in the game, whereas I'm playing my reliable Hadross, durable but severely lacking in speed. The first turn has Landon moving his Skorza into 2 distinct flanks, one led by his Alpha moving up the left side of the battlefield, and the second group led by Korad moving up my right flank. I know if I spread my forces out to engage separately, then I'm just playing into his plans, so I consolidate my forces in the center and keep everything grouped up. My motivation is getting to the 3 50mm bases spread across the battlefield. His requires him to kill me and move forward. The harder I make that for him, the easier it will be for me. At the end of round 1, his forces are visibly separated into 2 halves, whereas mine remains one collective. If I can turtle up and play to Hadross' strengths, I can hopefully negate the damage done by being flanked on both sides. Round 2, I win initiative. Deciding to get some early hits in, I move my Orson Cavalier up and drag his shield breaker into combat. I even managed to deal it 1 damage in the process. In retaliation, Landon activates the shield breaker, first attempting to damage my Orson with his Howl from Beyond ability. A 3 fails, so he follows up with his huge axe attack. A 1 and a 5 also failed to cause any damage to my Orsons. It's now that I begin to create my defensive line. My next action is to move Torvash and 6 Guardians up. This will hopefully bait out his Skorza and pull them farther to the flank, away from the rest of my forces. Landon counters by moving one of his blood engines up. I'll need to be careful as I doubt my line of Guardians can survive an assault from both that and the Skorza. Realizing I've moved Torvash too far to the right, I'm forced to activate only 5 Deepmen with my Gutter Friar. It's these type of positioning mistakes that will cost me the game. Making the best of it, I move the Guardians around the Orson Cavalier. His large base will prevent the Skorza from engaging my Guardians head-on. Landon commits his second blood engine to the fight, further separating his army into 2 halves. That blood engine is a definite threat, so I activate my Kalith Reaver, and, utilizing his Hitcher Ride ability, move him forward and pull my Severdin Gutters along. They're still able to activate later in the turn, and hopefully, being my elite powerhouses, will be able to deal with the blood engine. The next few actions show us continuing to move our Mauls into position. Landon at this point has committed to his 2-flank approach, but already I'm spreading my troops a bit thinner than I should, playing into his plan. As part of his final moves, he sends 1 lone Skorza up to attack my Orson. His plan is to tie my beast down, not causing any major damage. He attacks anyway, but a 5 and 1 confirm it's going to take more than that to hurt him. Now it's time to show what my Severdin can do. In a combined activation, my Gutters move up and, throwing a whopping 8 dice, score 3 hits, dealing the monster 3 damage and resonating it. Very important, as my Severdin gain bonuses to attacking resonated models. Round 3 initiative has us both rolling 10s, but because of Landon's +2 bonus, he wins the roll. Deciding to activate his left flank, Landon sends his Skorza into my Guardians. When they come in contact, they trigger the Aegis of the Deep ability of my Guardians. After a few successful will checks, my Guardians resonate a few of the Skorza. This means I can force him to reroll attack dice, very useful in keeping my Guardians alive. The first skirmisher rolls a hit, but since he has resonated, I'm able to force him to reroll that die. He then has two of his skirmishers do a combined attack on my Guardian, but due to being resonated, I'm able to force a reroll, making the attack unsuccessful. Finally, the last skirmisher attacks and rolls double ones. Looks like the dice are not on his side right now. I take the opportunity now to continue my assault on the Blood Engine. Since the Blood Engine is resonated, my Severdins gain offensive expertise, which allows them to reroll one die on the attack. One threat down, an army left to go. After completing their assault, my Severdins spread out, engaging as many enemies as they can. Due to their paralytic presence ability, no enemy can disengage from them, so I'm hoping to lock down the speedy Skorza. The Shield Breaker activates next and, due to his Howl from Beyond, instantly kills the lone Severdin, tying him up. He then moves up and attempts to carve into my Gutter Friar. An 8 and a 2, however, does not pierce the resilience of the Gutter. Utilizing the command area boosting abilities of Ilva, Torvash commands my left flank of Guardians. I've decided that's best to launch an assault of my own, rather than wait for the Skorza to come to me. Using the bolster ability from my Guardians, I'm able to throw a fair amount of attacks onto the Skorza. The first two Guardians roll a 5 and a 3, which is unfortunately unsuccessful. Next, I have 3 Guardians do a combined attack on a skirmisher, but only manage to deal it 1 wound. With my last attack, I'm able to put 1 damage on the Shield Breaker. Unfortunately, while I'm able to land some damage, I'm unable to kill any of them off for good. The other Shield Breaker now activates and, once more utilizing his Howl from Beyond, is able to kill my Severdin outright and wound my poor Orsons. Continuing the assault of his huge axe, he's able to successfully damage my Orson a second time. 1 wound left and I'll lose my model. Having killed an enemy model, the Shield Breaker gains a marker for Unstoppable Advance, furthering Landon's objective. Landon also places 1 marker on his other Shield Breaker for the Severdin it killed earlier in the round. It's now time for my remaining Guardians to join the fight. They move up to engage the Skorza, putting a few wounds down with combined attacks. The Blood Engine activates and uses its Devour Whole attack to cleave into my lone Severdin. It then moves up to Torvash. Unless I get some reinforcements over there, Torvash might fall prey to this monster. My Caliph will activate next and try to trigger Land Rage. Failing its will check, however, it merely moves up to reinforce Torvash. The remaining Skorza now begin their assault. The first 2 do a combined attack and decimate 1 of my Guardians. Next, a single Skorza rolls a 9, which is enough to kill another Guardian. The Skorza Alpha does a combined attack with the Skirmisher, which kills the 3rd Guardian. Since he has killed a model with Savage Brutality, the Skorza Alpha now gets to move and make another 1-die attack. That's 4 Guardians taken out with 1 activation. This is not looking good for me. Fortunately, my Orson remains unhurt. In retaliation, my Orson is going to kill his Shield Breaker. Landon's army has completed activating, so Ilva continues up and, launching 2 successful will attacks on the Skorza Alpha, kills it. Landon is in a bad spot now, as his right flank is leaderless. At the end of the round, Landon's right flank has collapsed, but mine is getting hammered by Skorza and Korad. It's still anyone's game. Another initiative roll, another win for Landon. Regardless of his attack rolls, he can sure win initiative. The Blood Engine activates and attempts to decimate Torvash. Torvash narrowly survives with only 1 wound left. Had he died, that would have been the death knell for my army. My Gutter Friar now activates, and spinning an interact action on the objective, destroys it and causes 2 morale loss to Landon's army. The Skorza continue their assault. With a combined attack, the Skirmishers roll 4 dice and manage to take out 1 of my Guardians. Korad then rolls 3 hits, which is more than enough to take out another Guardian. Finally, his last Scorza takes out yet another one of my Guardians. The Scorza that had claimed markers move up, scoring some of Landon's objectives and forcing morale loss on me. My Urson continues his assault, killing the lone Scorza that was tying him up. Landon's Shieldbreaker now activates, and I continue to fail my Resonate checks. Continuing to utilize his Howl from Beyond ability, he kills a lone Deepman Guardian, and then focuses his attacks on the other one, slaying it as well. The Shieldbreaker gets a marker for the kill. Torvash now attacks the Blood Engine, rolling 3 dice and dealing 1 wound. My Guardians then attempt to fight off the remaining Scorza. With a combined attack, my 2 Guardians roll an 8 and a 4, which manages to deal 1 wound to the Skirmisher. My other 2 Guardians follow up and take out one of the previously wounded Scorza. On his right flank, Landon is forced to activating Scorza one by one. The one that activates gets resonated and then moves away. Ilva moves up and attempts to continue clearing out the remaining Scorza. Unfortunately, she fails. Landon moves up and attempts to finish off the Orson Cavalier and, in a staggering roll, kills it outright. I've lost one of my main powerhouses on the battlefield. My Deep Caller now tries to take down Korad, putting a wound on him and then running away. If I'm anywhere near Korad, he will kill my model outright. The remaining Scorza now attempt to kill my Guardian, but luckily misses both attacks. My Caliph Reaver now activates and attempts to take down the Blood Engine to protect Torvash, placing a few wounds on him, but being unable to kill him. Initiative is rolled, and we see Landon winning once again. His first action shows Korad moving in for one more kill, throwing a staggering 4 dice. My flank has now been completely destroyed. Swift payback for what I did to his. The remaining Scorza now move into my deployment zone, scoring more of his objective and causing further morale loss. I'm very close to losing here. My Deep Caller activates and moves up and deals the final wounds of the Blood Abomination, saving Torvash. Landon activates his lone Scorza and moves up, causing 2 further morale loss. This is not looking good. Luckily, I activate Torvash next, and now that he's free, he's able to move up and burn down another objective, evening the score slightly. I was hoping to make a comeback, but Landon's Shieldbreaker activates and scores a critical hit against my Friar, killing him and causing my last few morale to drop to 0. I can't recoup from that, and I have no way of reducing Landon's morale below mine before the end of the round. Rather than playing it out, I concede to Landon. Goritsi has won this game, but I'll be sure to avenge my forces next time. And there you have it, a full battle level game of Wrath of Kings.